what is an proc export and what is an proc import. So first of all, we'll be learning about proc export. Let's say I have a data set in my SaaS environment. Okay, let's say I have some data sets, default libraries, right? Like SaaS help library, and I have data sets, all of these. If I want to export these data sets outside into my desktop, let's say I have a folder on my desktop saying,
Sir,
yeah,
Sir, I can't see your screen.
I can't see your screen.
Can see the
ah,
screen.
okay. Were you able to see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can see your screen.
You're able to see now, right, everyone?
No, I can't see.
Who is this? Sorry.
Anjali.
How about others?
I can see.
I can see it, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see.
yeah.
Even
If everyone can
sorry.
see, you need to check your laptop, Anjali. So let's say I have a SaaS help library and I have this dataset. Let's say I want to output this class dataset into my desktop folders. I want to output those datasets into, let's say I want to output the dataset into this library called practice, which is on my desktop. Right now, there are no files or anything present in my practice library. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to export that either into an PDF file or an RTF file or an access file. So for that, this is the syntax: proc export data is equal to what dataset you want to output from which library and what dataset you want to output. And you can also use multiple SAS options for outputting the dataset. Tarak, can you say me some of the SAS dataset options that we used earlier? Can you say me some SAS dataset options?
I have to send you, sir.
No, just say it to me now. SAS dataset options, which we used in our previous classes.
Hmm.
So you're not practicing the classes, right? Then,
I'm practicing, sir.
if you are practicing, you should remember at least couple of options.
Hmm.
How about you, Vibha Gupta? Can you say me couple of options, dataset options?
Yeah, yeah, there are keep options, drop options. Uh, you can use the uh, other like no data display or OBS option, first OBS, all those things.
Yeah, Monica, can I get some more options? Monica, were you able to hear me? How about you, Vidisha? Can you say me a couple of more options? Hello, Vidisha, were you there? Vidisha or Monica? Monica, can you hear me? Anjali? Hello, Anjali, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah. Can you say me a couple of more options?
OBS, first OBS.
Okay, those options were already said by Viba. Can you say me some more options?
Oh, sorry, actually, I was not able to hear anything. This is Vidisha. I don't know, I got cut.
Okay. Okay. Can you say me some dataset options?
Yeah, merge
Um,
options,
No.
merge options, stream options. No.
So, guys, we had a lot other options like label, rename.
Yes.
So,
Where?
underscore, character underscore.
where, if, there are a lot of options. See, you guys need to practice a lot after the class. If you are not able to practice and you still being attending classes, it's not good forwarding to the other classes. So you guys need to practice after each and every class. Dataset options was the basic thing. You are not able to say in handy at least 7 or 8 options when asked you. So that means you guys need to practice a lot after each and every class. Even if you practice the class notes, you are able to say at least not less than 10 options. Tarak, you are not able to say at least a couple of options also. So you need to practice, guys. Those you should remember those options. That's why I'm going slow in the initial classes. From now on procedures, I want to speed up classes, but still you are not able to follow up with dataset options only. Okay, let's continue today's class. It's up to you guys. If you're not able to follow the classes, then whoever are getting better, they will be going to the other classes and they will get started with marketing then. Okay, so what does Proc export do? Proc export is used to output any data set from our SaaS environment into our defined libraries on the desktop. So let's say I want to output this class data set. So for that, first, this is the syntax for proc export, and proc export data is equal to, I have to give my library name and that SAS dataset name. And after giving the SAS dataset name, let's say I want to use any SAS dataset options like keep or drop, or if you want to use any where function, where option, you can use it here. And what was the output file name and where you want to paste it. Let's say I want it to be outputted in this library. So I need to copy this path and paste it here in the output file. So the output file will be saved into the specific folder. What is DBMS? DBMS, which is used to specify the type of data to export. Let's say I want my SAS dataset as an Excel file. So in the identifier place, I need to use Excel. If you want to output as an XML file, you need to define XML. And what does replace do? Replace, let's say if there is an existing file with the same name, so it replaces or erases the old file and creates the new file. So now let's start with an example. So I want to export, so proc export data is equal to sasshelp.class. From the sasshelp library, I want to export dataset called class. So this is the syntax, right? I want to export class dataset from sasshelp library, and I'm using dataset options. Let's open class dataset. How many variables do I have? 5 variables. I don't want to export all 5 variables. I only want to export name, sex, and age, 3 variables. And I only want to export where sex is equal to male. So I want to export only the observations for having for male. Okay. So where do I want to export to? Into this specific path. So I had copied the path from my desktop. So I want to export my dataset into this library, and I want to output as a dataset called class. So what is the DBMS? DBMS specifies the type of the dataset that you want to export as. So I want to export it as an Excel file. So I'm giving Excel, okay, or replace. I'll show you what replace does. I want to output as an sheet. If you know an Excel file, how it is looking, you know, right? Multiple sheets can be saved in a single Excel file. So I want to save the dataset as a sheet called students. So let's run this. Right now, I don't have any Excel files in this folder called practice. Let's run this file. See, right now I can see an Excel file called class is exported. And if I open that Excel file, I got three variables called name, sex, and age. And this is the sheet name. Sheet name is called students.
Sir,
Yeah.
in work library, it won't get run.
No, I'm not creating it in work library. If you see work library is empty. I'm directly exporting it to an external library outside the
Okay.
SAS environment. So let's say if I'm not using the replace let's delete this file. So let's delete this file. Okay. Now I'm not using replace or sheet name called students. Okay. I'm not using replace or students. Let us go to my log. Okay, still it says it was successfully created. Let's go to see, still it is created. Then what is the use of replace? I'll show you the difference. See, but now sheet is not students. Same, the dataset name is assigned to the sheet name. Previously, we have assigned the sheet name as students. If you don't want to assign any specific sheet name, the dataset name will be assigned as the sheet name. See here, I have not assigned any sheet name, right? Previously, we have assigned a sheet name. So that's the difference why we are giving the sheet name. Let's say I want to run this again. I want to run this again. Now let's say, see, export cancelled, out table class already exists. Specify replace option. If you want to overwrite the file, you need to give replace. Otherwise, you don't need to. So when you're running the same file for second time, you need to give replace. Now it will be replaced and the sheet name will be changed to students again. So if you want to overwrite an existing file, you can use, now if you go to login sheet, see, successfully created. Students range per sheet was successfully created.
Yes, wait, Anika, wait.
Can you mute your screens?
Mithilesh?
Guys, can you mute your screens? So now if I go to my class Excel file, see, the first data set is present and second one is also created as students because it replaces into a new sheet because we are giving a different name. There is an already an existing file. Let's say if I don't give students and if I still do like this, it will replace the existing file. Now it is creating into a second sheet because class is already present. It's replacing into a new sheet. Okay. Now again, let's take SAS help.class, and these are the variables I want to be printed in my output file. I want to take only where gender is equal to male. So now I am outputting into table, because if you see an access file, in access file always they will be printed as tables, not as sheets. In Excel file we'll be printing as sheets. When we go to access files, we'll be printing it as tables. And what is the output file name? Class1. What was the previous output file name? Class. So
Class.
yeah, when you are printing an Excel file, you need to define it as class.xls. Same way, when you are printing an access file, you need to use mdb. You need to print use .mdb. When you are printing an Excel file, you need to use .xls. Okay, let's run this now. So this is an Excel file and this is an access file. What is the difference? In access file, the outputs will be printed as tables. So you can print multiple tables in an access file. Let's go to students. Now we are printing it as students, right? See, this is printed as a table. So in access file, it is printed as an, similarly it looks like as our data set, right? So it is printed as table and it prints only where gender is equal to male. So now let's say I have three data sets. I want to export all three data set at once into a single Excel file. Is there any option like that? Yes, we can we can output or export hundreds of data set into single Excel file, but all you need to do is you need to output into different sheets, right? Each data set should be outputted into a different sheet. So let's do how it works. So I'm outputting into an Excel file called multiple, and as it is an Excel file, I'm defining .xls. And which dataset am I outputting? SAS help.class. What is the output name? Multiple. So this is the path where I'm outputting, and this is the output Excel file name where I'm exporting. So dbms is equal to Excel. Try to use always replace. That's good practice, because sometimes if you want to run the same program twice, it won't replace. Otherwise, let's say there is a data update and you want to export the same file again. If you don't use replace when you are doing second time, it won't update the existing file. So try to always use replace, so that the Excel file which is existing will get updated with the same data. If there are any updates in the data, the output export file will be updated. So into which sheet I want to output? Class. So the sheet name I am outputting is class. So for exporting the second dataset into second sheet of my Excel, same thing. I need to continue the program. Same. I need to, now what dataset I'm outputting? Cars into same file, because see the file name doesn't change because we are outputting into the same file but into a different sheet. The sheet name is car.
Sir, you have to write the program every time you.
Yeah. Yes, when you're doing something like that, you need to write your program again. So now I'm exporting the third dataset called sashelp.shoes, and I'm using the same Excel file for that. And for that, I'm using sheet shoes. Guys, just give me 1 minute. So right now I'm sorry about that, guys. Right now I'm exporting three data sets into a single file called multiple, and the sheets I'm specifying is class, car, and shoes. So let's run all three of them, and let's open multiple. So I'm creating class, I'm also creating cars, I'm also creating shoes. So I'm exporting all the 3 data sets. Here I'm not using any dataset options, right? So entire dataset is being printed. If you want to use dataset options, you can still use here. For each sheet, you can specify dataset options next to the Proc export dataset name. So this is how we export the data into an external library from the SAS environment. Now, after this, what I want to do, I want to import these files again into my SAS environment. I want to import access file or Excel file or something like this into my SAS environment. How do I do that? For that, so
Yes, sir.
does anyone has questions in this export? So
Yes, sir. Can we export more than one data set in the same sheet or no?
no, you
Like,
are not able to because those are different data, right?
yeah, like let's say if we have the same kind of like can we merge if we have the same kind of data in two different?
Before exporting, you need to merge the dataset and export it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If you have some doubt
Uh,
like that, keep doing after the class and let me know if something comes up. I will learn too. That's good. Always questions are good because you are still learning. If you have some questions, try to ask me. Otherwise, after the class, practice it. And if you have any doubts, please go ahead and ask me in the class. But try to practice, guys. Until unless you practice, actually, I want to go more faster because we have a lot to complete. After these procedures, we have a lot other things. See, we have 2 more classes on procedures. So if I keep on going, you'll forget all the options, functions. Once completing the procedures, it's like 3 topics are completed: dataset options, functions, and procedures. Then we'll be going to SQL. Then we'll be going to some other topic. So keep practicing all the topics every week because these all options and functions are new to you. Until unless you practice continuously, you won't remember these things. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me anytime. I will answer you. Yeah, someone has any question on this export?
Yeah, like this DBMS line, we have access and replace. It's the same thing, right? Same line.
Yeah.
It doesn't need. Okay.
So, yeah, you can output into an PDF files also. You can practice all those things after the class. You have a lot of documents in Google. Try practicing how to outputting into a different types or and what are the different types. Most of the times we'll be outputting only as an Excel files. We won't be using other things. Most of the times we'll be using Excel. Till
the way it is done in Excel, it can be done in Access. It can take multiple files.
yeah, you can try and let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, that will be your assignment too. By next week class, I want you guys to try how to output into a multiple datasets into single access file.
But it would be
Okay.
multiple tables, right?
Yeah, multiple tables, but all of them will be in the
The
same
same
single file, right?
database.
Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
I don't want to say this multiple sheets. I want you guys to do that, but still I continued today. Okay. Now let's go to proc import. So in the proc import, what you are doing, you want to see same database. So instead of proc export, here I'm using proc import. So what am I importing? I'm importing from the practice dataset. I'm importing dataset Excel file called class. So here I'm using this dataset now. Sorry, this Excel file to be created as an dataset in my SAS environment. So for that, I'm creating proc import dbms is equal to Excel. I want to uh, read an Excel file and where is the file located? That's the path for the file and the output file name. And what do I want to output in an SAS environment? I want to output it as class under data. I want to keep only 2 variable names. And what is the sheet name that is given in the Excel file previously? Students, right?
Students.
So that's also specified here. See, now class data is created. So two variables are created. So now I want to import again same file, but I want to create a new dataset called class1. I'm also using replace sheet as students. What is this get names? No. If you see previously, I got variable names from the existing sheet, right? So every time when you are importing an Excel file, the first observation will be read as variable names. The first observation is read as variable names. Now, if I don't want to read these as in my variable names and I want to read these as also my observation values. So I want to read the first observation not as my variable names. I want to read the first observation as values for observation. So here I am having 10, right? So I want it as 11 observations. You need to close this before you run. So see now name is also created as a value. Totally 11 observations are created. So default variable names are created F1, F2 and F3. Why is age not printed as value for F3? Because age is a character, all other values are in numeric. So that is not readed as a value for F3 variable. If you go to log, that should be printed. No, that's not printed. So if you're using get name is equal to no, then try to take care if there are any numeric and character combination. You know what are you understanding what I'm trying to say, guys?
No, sir.
See, what I'm trying to do is I don't want the variable names as their names. I want those also as my observation values. If you see previously, name and age are variable names, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Why is that? Because I haven't used any option like this get names is equal to no. I haven't used in the previous code, right? Now I am using this. So what happens then? The first line of the Excel file is when I use get name is equal to no, the first line of observation is also read it as values for the observation. So name and
Okay.
sex are not read as variable names. Actually, name and sex is not values of the variable, right? Those are the variable names. But here they are reading as variable values because I have used an option called get name is equal to no.
Oh,
But why it is not coming for age? Why age is not coming as variable value for F3? Because age
because
is any
character.
character and other values are numeric, right?
Yes.
So it is not reading it. It is not trying to mix character and numeric in one place. So Excel has problem of reading that. So that's not reading. So when you're using this option, try to take care.
Yeah,
So
but
now,
it shouldn't be the other way because the first is the character. The first data set he means
no,
the first variable
that's
is
how
read.
SAS reads it. That's how it is designed.
Okay.
So now I want to import an access file. Previously, same thing. I'm proc import dbms is equal to access, table is equal to students, out is equal to standard marks, replace, and this. See, it is read as an data set. So that's the difference between proc import and export. Now we will be learning about proc formats. Any questions, guys, in proc import or export? And I want you guys to also send me code how to export multiple sheets into multiple data sets. Like we did for proc export, I want to do it for proc import also. I want you to do two things. One is to export into multiple access dataset tables, and the other thing is I want to import multiple sheets into multiple dataset at once. I'll send you in detail what to send by next class.
Okay.
So what is proc format? So proc format is used to create user-defined formats called formats and informats. If you open any data set, if you go to attributes, you can see format, right? So if I want to create any specific formats, or if you want to assign either to assign format for attribute, or also you can assign certain formats for values. Let's say I want to assign for age 14 some value, you can assign it by using proc format. Or if you want to assign for John or Philip their ages, you can also do that. I will show you now how to do that. So for that you need to use proc format, library name where we are bringing the format from, and the dataset name or dataset name where you want to create that. So proc format. So value, what am I doing here? I'm creating gendfmt is equal to male, where m is equal to male, f is equal to female. If I have a value called m, I want to convert it as male. If I have a value called f, I want to convert it as female. For
Email.
that, what is the format assigned? Gendfmt. Why is dollar assigned? Because that's an character values. So if you are converting anything from character to character, value is used in the formats. So here what I want to do, if there is 1, I want to convert it as a male. If it is 2, I want to convert it as female. And what is the format I'm assigning? Gen under fmt. Here I'm converting numeric to character. So here also value is used, but dollar symbol is not used. In
So
the
you have to write 2 times T, FM double T.
no, I'm giving different format names.
Okay.
Are
So
those IDs the 1
now,
and 2?
yeah, those are like IDs. If I have 1, I want to convert it as male. If I have 2, I want to convert it as female.
Okay.
So these are different, for each one is different name. So it's not specific. You can give any format name, but when you are calling the particular format, you need to give this for, let's say my name is Kumar. So if you want to identify me, what do you call as Kumar, right? So that's the name specified for me. So such a way, this is the name specified for this format. So if you want to make m as 1, f as 2, then you need to call this format. If you have any numeric values like this, and if you want to convert into character values, then you want to use this. Now what am I doing? I'm converting m is equal to 1, f is equal to 2. And as this is a character, we are converting character to numeric, right? So you need to use dollar symbol. So here I'm converting numeric to numeric. So 1 to 9, if there are any values in my data set from 1 to 9, I want to convert it as 1. If there are any values from 10 to 100, I want to convert it as 2. Just leave that till there, and we'll learn what we're doing. So I'm defining multiple formats in single file. So a formats catalog is created. So if you see, all the separate formats are created. So this format gen under fmt, right? So gen under fmt is created here. Gen under fmtt is created. Gen under fmt is created here. range is created here, and age groups is created here. So if there are ages from low to 12, I want to make it as child. If there are ages from 13 to 19, I want to make those values as teen, 20 to 25 engaged, 25 to 49 as adult. So I'm creating multiple formats, and I want to use this format at some other place now. I want to apply these formats to some of my dataset values. So
So the first like this syntax, we can assign to some data set at the same time while we are creating the format. Like you put the library and all.
yeah, you can see now, once we go through this, you'll understand what I'm trying to do. So now what I'm doing, I'm printing the dataset called sashelp.shoes, and I'm applying format gen under fmtt for variable called stores. So let's go to sashelp library and look for the stores dataset, and for the variable called stores, let's go to sashelp library and go to shoes dataset. Where is that? Okay, shoes. And in the stores, I want to apply a format for the variable called stores. Which format I want to apply? I want to apply format called this one, gen under fmtt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what will happen if there is any value with 1, that will be converted into male. If there is any value with 2, that will be converted into female. So where is 1? So here is 1, right? 1 will be converted into male. If there is any value with 2, that will be converted into female. Rest of the values remain same, because that's only the format I'm applying, right? So let's run it and check it. See, here 2 is converted into female. Which observation is this? 7th observation, right? Let's open the dataset and go for 7th observation. See, here I'm having value called 2, which is converted into gender female, right? And at the same time, if I go to observation 30, it is converted into male. If I see observation number 30, that has 1. But at all other places, there is no 1 and 2. So only at specific places, the values has been changed into the defined formats. Are you able to understand it? So I'm applying format called 1 to 2.
So where does this format get stored? Where does
Yeah,
in
that gets
it
stored in catalogs. So this is where the formats are being stored, and they are being recalled from here.
in work folder only, right?
Yeah, those are stored in work only.
But we can store in the other libraries and then from there we can call.
See, this is how it is stored. This is how this format is stored. Now, which format have I opened? I have opened age groups. What is the age groups format? This one, right? So this is how it is stored. If it is 12, it is low to 12, it is stored as child. So 13 to 19, it is stored as teen. So now we are applying this one. Let's open this one. See, if it is 1, it is stored as male. If it is 2, it is
Okay.
stored as female. That's how it is stored. And when we are applying that format, it reads that format.
Yeah, but in real life we have to keep them in some safe place, right? Not in
Yeah,
work folder.
yeah. You can specify paths initially where you want to store it. Your entire work will be stored in specific place, right? So once you
Yeah.
define
Okay.
paths at the top of your program, these formats will be saved
Mhm.
somewhere in your programs. I mean, somewhere in your
Okay.
output libraries.
Okay.
So
So that's what this the first line is about library is equal to and all
yeah.
proc format library. Okay.
I will show you how to create in libraries also. It's same thing. Instead of outputting into your work,
Mm-hmm.
you can, right now I'm not saying any library here, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's not storing, it's defaultly storing into my work
Work
library.
library.
Yeah. So now for sashelp.class, I want to apply format called dollar gen under format dot. Okay, so which is the first one, right? So go to my class dataset. So I want to convert M as male, F as female. That's what my gen under FMT is doing, right? If it finds an value called M, it converts into male. If
Male.
it finds an value called F, it converts into female. But for
Female.
which variable am I applying? Variable called gender. Do I have gender here? No, it's I should change it to sex. It won't run it. My variable is sex. Now if I run it, see M is converted into male, F is converted into female. So if you want to output this dataset, you can do. You can also do it as dataset.
What do you mean?
Now, if I don't want to print it, if you want to save it in work
Oh,
library, you can also apply these formats to work library. Right now, I'm just printing the datas, right? So if you want to do that, what I need to do is data. I want to create dataset called class, which will be automatically stored in my unset SAS help dot class. Now it gets stored into my work library. I don't have class dataset here, right? Okay. Now let's run this. See, the values has been changed, right? If you see my previous dataset, I have male M and F. Here it is stored as male and female.
Female.
Yeah, I don't want to create datasets every time, so it's easy to show, right? No need to open the dataset. That's why I'm printing them. So now I'm creating one more format called gen under FMT. Same thing, gen under FMT, and I can also use in value. Previously we used value, right? For M is equal to male and F is equal to female. You can use in value also. Value or in value. Now let's run this format.
So in value is for bringing the data in, right?
No, yeah,
Means when you are
same thing like we did for value is the same thing. Same kind of option.
that didn't change.
okay. No, value is for outputting, but when we are bringing data from outside, then we use in value.
No, I'll show you what we are doing now.
Okay.
It's like we are in uh, informating, like we have formats and informats, right? Let's open class and let's go to attribute. Sorry. So where is the format assigned previously for format, right? Because we are using format, right? Previously. Here if you see we are using format. Now we are using informat. There is one more thing called informat, right? In attributes. We have two things in attributes column. One is format, the other one is informat. When you see here, informat is not getting changed. So if you want to change that in the attributes place, then we are using in value and in format.
Okay.
So here I am doing couple of things. Don't get confused. I'm creating dataset called test. For the dataset test, I'm creating my own values using my card statement. Okay. So forget this for now. So what am I doing for date of birth? I'm applying format called ddmmyy10 dot. Let's run this. So my date gets converted. I need to run one more thing. And I'm also using gender format for this. What is gender under FMT? M is equal to male, F is equal to female. So now let's run this again. So I'm giving values M and F, but I'm converting into in format called gen under FMT. So if I run this, M is converted into male and F is converted into female. Let's open this column attributes. See, now it's applied to the in format, right? Previously we are assigning it to format, and date of birth get convert. It is counted into number of days. Always SAS default date is 1960 Jan. So it calculates the dates from that date to existing date. Let's say today's date is 2015, June 14. Okay, today date is 2015, June 14. It finds the difference between both the dates, and then it calculates. Now, if I want to subtract two different dates, now let's say control new. Now let's say I have two dates called January 1st and second one is January 10th. Okay, what is the difference between both of these dates? 9 days, right?
Yeah.
So, but how SAS calculates it? SAS always calculates it from default date 1960. So let's say this is totally 19,800 days. Okay, from this date. I'm talking saying this as Jan 1st, 2015. This is also Jan 10th, 2015. Let us assume the difference from 1960 is 2015. Okay, the difference from 1960 to Jan 2015 is 19,800 days, and let's assume this is 19,810. So it calculates always the days from 1960, and then it subtracts these two. The difference is 10 days. That's how SAS always calculates the difference in number of days. It always calculates to the default date for the both date variables, then it subtracts both days and prints the result. That's what it is doing here. So what is my date here? September 24th, 2011, right? So if you see in the output, how many days is it from 1960? 18,894 days. This is 18,486 days. That's how SAS reads it. So now I am creating test 2. Here, why am I using colon here? Because colon is required for user defined formats. Let's run this.
Sir, question here.
Mhm.
The before option, why is it showing the number of days, date of birth in days? Are we applying any function to calculate the days?
No, that's how SAS always prints the date defaultly. But if you use
It doesn't shows
We
the date.
No, but we have assigned DDMMYY10.
no,
So
but
why it's not?
we haven't used any options like D or something like this here, right? Previously, we used to use date or something like this when we are doing our data step lines. If you go to our previous class, which one? base. Yeah, it should be somewhere here, right?
No, whenever we assign that format, it should print in that format, right?
No, but it's not reading as an exact date, so I will show you what's happening. It's not opening. In the background, that's how date gets converted first, and then it changes to ddmm by 10 dot. But here we are not defining the other thing like d, because if there is any specific date which is already present in my dataset, you can apply that format, then it prints that format. But here I'm not doing that. I'm assigning at the same time, so it's not trying to read it as ddmm by 10 dot. I think my sales software was stuck.
So I think your system date is present date. That's why it's not working.
No, that doesn't matters.
Okay.
I don't know. I was not able to give control for it. Okay, so what will be I using? Month
We
is
will
equal
use
to.
the month is equal to substring
Okay.
DOB2 in the bracket DOB2
Mm-hmm.
3 3 and 5 3 to 5.
Comma 3 to 5, 3 comma 5.
No, sorry, 3 to 6. 3 4 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, 3 to 5.
No, you won't use 3 to 5. You'll be using 3 comma 3 because you are only calculating 3 alphabets from 3, right? You are not
Okay, yes.
specifying the second position. So keep practicing. Otherwise, you won't remember those things. If you do 3 comma 5, that will be sep 20.
Okay, then 5.
Then it will
Okay,
read it till here. It will be sep 20.
okay,
So you need to do
yes.
3 comma 3. You in the first place you need to give the position where you are starting from. In the second place you
Mhm.
need to give how many characters you want to count it from.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
So
3
keep
comma.
practicing, guys. So I think that should be good for today's class. We'll be learning this in the next class. We have a lot other formats. It should take 10-15 minutes in the next class for formats, and we'll be continuing with proc sort and proc copy, proc index or proc freak in the next class. So in 2 more classes we should be completing proc procedures. So we have proc sort 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 topics for proc procedures. So that should be completed by next class, by next Saturday's class. Next class will be on Wednesday, and after that